Hi guys, my name is Bartek.
And my name is Timek. And welcome to ThriveBros. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about dieting, which is just dieting is a funny concept because all people who go on the said diet think that the diet is that they think that what they are currently eating, like the said diet, the keto diet, maybe the vegan diet, this is what the diet is. But each diet, it is just the way you eat. Like everything that you eat, even if you eat poorly, even if you eat greatly, all of that is a diet. So, Bartek, what would you say is your diet? Like what it consists of, or what are your main points that you focus on while you go to the gym?
So the main point is that I focus on having enough protein. I aim within like 200 grams a day, something like that. At the top of that, I eat some carbs, some fats. I try to eat more fats than carbs. I wouldn't say I eat keto diet because I do eat certain fruits, certain uh, vegetables, certain kinds of bread. So yeah, I do eat carbs, but it's not my main fuel, I'd say.
Okay, so I kind of know which about which diet you have, but I'll talk about it later on in the video. And by the way, guys, since we make a lot of videos and we want to focus more on the videos, if you like the content, if you feel happy and want to watch us more, try to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll happy to see you again. Okay, so back to the topic. You said that you try to eat a lot of protein, and when you started, was it also the same way that you tried to eat like that more protein, more carbs, or maybe you focused on something else?
Yeah, so I mean, when I started going to the gym, I always knew that it's important to have enough protein. So I knew that. I tried to eat enough protein. And with carbs, I had this weird thing because I never ate a lot of carbs. It was never my thing that I never liked eating a lot of carbs, I'd say. So my diet most of my life consisted from of mostly fats and yeah. But then I found out about the mainstream bodybuilding diet and I thought, damn man, I need to eat more carbs. What can I do to eat more carbs? And I started eating some weird processed foods just to get my carbs. Yeah, so that was a mistake, I'd say.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they first hear about dieting, when they go to the gym, they hear that you should eat a lot of carbs, a lot of protein, a lot of fats, but that you shouldn't necessarily focus on what you're eating, just get the right amount. And when you begin, it isn't a bad idea for the diet, but it isn't really good either, because even if you're getting those protein, getting those carbs, all of them are kind of low level. I would say like they are protein, they are carbs, but they aren't like the best carbs, the best protein you can have. Like they are mostly processed. And that is what people early on don't really understand. And I didn't hear you mention it, but I think many people struggle with that. And that is how to actually get this protein. Because, yeah, you hear people saying that you should get 1. 1.5 up to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. But when you're just starting, you may have issues with that. Did you have anything like that? Did you change anything so that you got those protein, or was your like kind of current diet around that mark and you just added the carbs to it?
I not added. I decreased my carbs a lot.
Yeah, but first of all, you talk about the bodybuilding when you started eating more carbs because it was like the mainstream thing to do.
When I first started, I knew that you have to eat protein. You have to eat a lot of protein, but I didn't count my calories, so I didn't know how much do I currently eat. And when I started tracking this, mostly because of the protein, I found out that I'm not eating as much as I should or could. So yeah, with my current diet, it's really not a problem because I eat a lot of meat, so a lot of protein from that. I eat nuts, a lot of protein from that. I eat eggs. I eat, and then at the top of that, I do protein shakes. So I have a protein whey and what else? And peanut butter. Yeah.
Okay, so you use protein powder, yeah? From what I understood. Do you have it like flavored or literally just the protein? Okay, so you're sticking not to really processed stuff. Okay, I respect that. I say this is a thing that many people actually start doing, and this is one of the thing most people should include if they're not able to have their protein intake uh, optimized as well. So if you like miss out on the protein a lot once you start going to the gym, you should probably try using like protein whey, protein powder. Yeah, the unflavored one would probably be the best most of the time. I mean, you can literally add so many things to the shake that the flavor of the protein powder doesn't really matter that much because you can use fruits, you can use nuts, you can use cocoa powder even, and yeah, it all just makes the flavor by itself. So yeah, there is no real reason to use the flavored protein powder when you already have the flavor kind of. Wait, I wanted. Yeah, and I've mentioned that it is a good way to add protein, but I don't know if you did something along those lines that many people are like, yeah, I can add protein using this protein powder, and they would just use like 60, 70, 80 grams of it per day, which is like they would get over half of their protein intake from this protein powder. And the thing is that it's a good like substitute. So if you're missing out on the protein, you can add some of it through that. But if it's your main protein source, then it isn't kind of as good as normal foods. So meat, eggs, nuts, as you've mentioned. Okay. And I've talked to you about this some time ago, not on camera, but yeah. And that is caffeine in your diet. I know that you sometimes use it, but what's your like point on that?
Yeah. So drinking energy drinks, I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore because there's a lot of chemicals that I don't want to put in my body anymore. So now I drink coffee and I stick to that. I normally drink plain black coffee, but sometimes I do add milk. So yeah, and I like caffeine in a way that it doesn't really have any downsides to your overall health, and it might. I see you shaking your head, but it
Yeah,
is true.
I'll add.
It
I'll
doesn't
add
really
after
have
you
that
finish.
downsides. It was pushed that coffee. Everybody drank coffee like 20 years ago, and it was pushed that it might not be that good. But yeah, coffee doesn't have much downsides, if any, and has a lot of benefits, a lot of cardiovascular benefits, a lot of health benefits, and the energy boost is just very good. Of course, you can overdose it. You can dose it in a wrong way, so you can drink it too early in the morning. You can drink it too late in the evening. So yeah,
How often do you drink coffee?
every day.
Every day. And if you miss out on a day, do you feel worse? Do you have headaches, stomach aches, anything like that?
No,
Okay, so okay, this is a phenomenon to
I
me
might have
because
less energy because I don't have caffeine, but I don't have any stomach problems, any headaches. Maybe if I don't drink enough water, then I will have a headache, but it's not connected to the coffee,
okay,
caffeine.
yeah, because when I started drinking coffee more, this was a few years back, and I had like one day when I missed out on it, I would always have like a headache, sometimes a stomach ache, and yeah, lower energy. So this was kind of, and I wouldn't drink like a lot of coffee or even black coffee. I would drink it probably like half and half with milk, maybe one or two per day. So it wasn't really that much. Although I was younger, so it may have been the problem back there.
How old were you?
I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, so around 15, 16.
Yeah, so that might have been an issue.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, you sometimes still hear, at least like my parents, I know they have kind of this problem that if they don't drink coffee like once per day, they sometimes have the problems. Although I'd say they drink a lot of coffee, like a lot of grown-ups do. So they don't drink one coffee per day or two. They drink like four or five.
Yeah, it also depends on the quality of coffee beans you have.
I mean, we have like a coffee machine at home, so we have normal coffee beans. Although I'm not sure whether they are like great quality because I'm not really that interested in it. I don't use it that much, but it may be the issue as you're saying.
Yeah, because if you have terrible quality meat, it's not that meat is unhealthy. It's just that the animal was fed some messed up things.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. It is similar to eggs, so that you have eggs hatched from chickens, which are like free. They can do whatever they want, and then you have the eggs from chickens, which are like put into cages, fed some chemicals so they make more eggs, stuff like that. And yeah, both of those are different types of eggs, and one is better than the other, and that's why one is more expensive than the other also. Okay, so coming back to dieting, I wanted to kind of like play a game with you, and that is to introduce you to 6 diets I have, and want you to kind of rate them 1 through 10. What is your opinion on them, and what maybe you could change? I mean, I don't have anything about everything about the diet noted, so there may be some things I've missed, but yeah. So first of all, we have a really simple diet that is called the zone diet. You try to go into the 40-30-30 zone, which is 40% carbs, 30% fats, 30% proteins. You try to eat 3 meals per day and have like two minor small snacks throughout the day.
Okay, so now I have to rate it.
Rate it, maybe say something, maybe what's missing, what could be changed.
Okay, so I don't know, let's say 7 because it's not bad. It also depends on what quality of those macros are. If they're from cakes and I don't know chips, then maybe not really not so good. But assuming they're from good quality food, then it's fine. I would decrease the carbs a little bit and add more fat. I would go like 30, 50, 20, 20 being carbs and 50
With 50
fats.
being
Fats, yeah.
okay.
It's something around what I eat right now and I feel great. I don't have brain fogs. So,
Yeah, I think the 30, 50, 20 is something along the lines of the keto diet, which we will go about later on. Okay, yeah, I kind of agree on that. I think that if you just concentrate on not non-processed products, eat like normal stuff, so literally like meat, maybe some kind of bread, but normal bread, not like the shop bought one, which is in a bag, like the plastic ones. Yeah, and if you just kind of stick to it, it is kind of an alright diet. You could probably like have it all the time and wouldn't really have any problems with it. But you should just concentrate on the good foods in that. Okay, the next one is eat clean diet, which is you try to eat foods without preservatives. You mix lean meats and complex carbs. So kind of are looking for. I think this is kind of the usual chicken and rice stuff.
so complex carbs being rice here, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Probably like the black rice, not black rice, like the
Brown.
yeah brown rice. Yeah. Okay. So your rating?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter that much as long as you're getting enough protein. Then the carbs fats ratio doesn't matter that much. It really depends on how you want it to be, how you feel on each ratio, how how you eat as well. So how easy it is to for you to get the calories in from certain macronutrients and what else? Yeah, it doesn't really matter as long as you get the healthy amount, so you don't die because you don't have enough fats in your body. Yeah, but if you want me to rate it, the complex carbs, I'm not familiar with it. Can you give me some examples apart from rice?
I mean, I'm not really sure, but I think pasta would kind of also qualify for that.
Okay, so the thing is, I like rice, like taste-wise. I really liked having it in my diet, but it always gave me brain fog, so I had to cut it out. Pasta, I never was a fan of pasta. I like certain kinds. I don't know. I like carbonara, but apart from that, I'm not a big fan of pasta as well.
Okay, I've checked, and one more thing that many people use, for example, for their shakes, is oats. So like oats, oatmeal, stuff like that.
Bro, oats are terrible.
You think so?
There's nothing
I,
in oats that is that can't be gotten from other food, and just humans aren't supposed to eat oats. It's a food for I don't know for chickens for certain animals, but we as humans aren't built in a way to digest oats well.
yeah, that kind of makes sense because like the prehistoric humans wouldn't really eat oats by themselves. They were kind of growing like grass, I'd say, and then people kind of learned. that wheat can be made into like bread and stuff, and that is when we like started eating those types of things. So yeah, it kind of makes sense that oats aren't really the best thing, but it is also one of the things in like protein shakes that gives you a lot of carbs for like, so like many people when they are missing out on carbs use oats as like a supplement for it.
I don't recommend that because, as I said, we don't digest oats very well. So if you want me to rate this diet, I would go for. I like the fact that it's clean, so you don't eat a lot of processed food. But I don't like oats here, so I don't know, maybe 6 or 5.
Okay, so a bit worse than the previous one. Okay.
Of course, if you don't eat oats here and you feel good after eating rice, so if you just digest, if you feel good after eating complex carbs and you just leave out oats, then this diet can be good for you. I'm just rating it from my point of view, so I know it wouldn't be good for me. Yeah, but it might be good for you, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Of course, of course. Next on, we have the elimination diet. We once talked about it on one of our previous videos about dieting. Check it out if you're interested. And this diet talks about how certain products affect you. So you try to kind of limit the ingredients in your like meals. So try to go for one ingredient products. So things like rice, things like tomatoes, things like eggs, things like meat, and not go for stuff like pasta, which has 4 normal ingredients and 20 or 30 additives to it. So when you have this single product, single ingredient, it is much easier for you to like notice how every one of those ingredients affects you. So maybe, as you said, when you eat brown rice, you have brain fog and don't feel quite well as you normally would. So then you eliminate rice from your diet.
Yeah, I was talking more of a normal rice,
Okay.
but still the points stays the same. Okay,
So what?
so I
Yeah,
like a elimination diet because you can you see how the foods affect you. So you can decide for yourself if you like them, like the after effect they have on you, or you don't. So you can eat them or not. Yeah. I think it's a
I
healthy
mean that.
diet because you don't eat much, don't have a big variations of food you eat. It might get boring for certain people because let's say you eat 10 ingredients and you eat eggs every day for breakfast, you eat beef every day for dinner, then you eat something else, and it might get boring, but it's good for your health, it's good for your, especially for mental performance. Yeah, because you can see what food you can eat and that won't affect you mentally, that won't give you brain fog, and will make sure that you stay sharp throughout the day.
Yeah, I'd say that this is like the middle point of dieting that many people should kind of aim for, because elimination diet is quite simple in and on itself, because you can change the ratios on the fats, on the proteins, on the carbs however you like. So maybe some people are like you, they feel worse after eating a lot of carbs, but maybe some like eating those carbs and feel more energetic because of them. So each one, each person will eliminate something different from their diet because each person is different, yeah, logically. And this is like the point many people should aim for, because then you don't have this processed foods in them. You have the simple meals, as you said, so they get quite boring. However, if you eat properly then, so you eat those protein, eat those carbs and fats however you feel like is best for you, like don't make your stomach upset, your head slower, then you're just kind of in the one of the best points in dieting, because just everything should be all right for you. Like if something is wrong, then you just change it. And some of the later diets I'll mention aren't necessarily for everyone, I'd say. So some people might feel really great in those diets, but some people might feel that like they are missing out. And yeah, that's why I'd say that elimination is the easiest and probably best for most people. But coming along is a diet you kind of mentioned, like you have something similar, and this is the so-called Paleo diet or Omnivore diet, which is you try to eat lower carbs, kind of protein kind of in the middle, and a lot of fat. This diet is, but since it is named like omnivores, paleontozolic, I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. This is a diet which consists of things that humans could eat at that time. So those are fruits, meats, eggs, milk, things that humans could get by themselves without, mixing some products, without really doing much with them, just using things they found. And I'd say this is something similar to what you have. So, although you've mentioned bread, which is kind of different, but apart from that, I think this is something along the lines.
What can I say? I would say 9 because it might not be the best health wise. I'd say it's a I'm not saying it's bad health wise, but it's not the best. Yeah. So it doesn't get boring because you have a lot of variations you can eat. It depends on what kinds of fruits you eat because certain fruits aren't the same anymore.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
don't know if you knew about it, but if you Google how banana looked like 2000 years ago, it was like short and very wide, and it looked more like kiwi, I'd say.
yeah. And also, I don't know if you remember that, but bananas originally weren't really eaten that much because they had seeds, like really many of them and really big ones. But humans kind of picked out the bananas that had smaller seeds, then smaller, 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 and now they don't really have many of them, if any at all. And yeah, that, as you've mentioned, it is kind of the point that yeah, not many fruits, not many vegetables are literally the same as they were back then. But I'd say that if you go on this diet and not eat many, not even processed foods, but if you have your own garden, you grow your vegetables, you grow your fruits, you buy meat from like the countryside, then and get your milk and eggs from countryside too. So things that don't have many weird things inside of them. So like the shop bought vegetables have a lot of additives on them, so they grow faster, they look bigger, they look brighter, stuff like that. And if you have those kinds of things from a good source, I'd say this diet should be really healthy for you, because you just are kind of eating what people are supposed to eat.
Sure.
Okay, you've got nothing to add. Okay, so next on is the one diet we've mentioned before, and that is Keto Diet, which tries to go even lower on carbs, maybe even sometimes have no carbs at all. Still try to have like the moderate amount of protein and a very high amount of fat. I'd say one thing I wanted to add is that this is kind of the diet for people who try to lose a lot of weight. Like keto is probably one of the best ones for losing weight from what I've seen and heard, because it just kind of uses the fat you have stored up for energy. So you lose fat a lot faster, and if you work out, then yeah, even faster.
Yeah, kinda. I mean, it's more complicated, but
Yeah, in short terms, yeah.
I don't think bringing up the scientific side on why keto is so good, so easy for losing weight is necessary. So yeah, it's very easy to lose weight if you're starting out. Of course, it's gonna be easier if you are meant to lose weight for you, just biologically. And what else? It's a great diet health-wise. It's a great diet performing-wise, mentally, and even at the gym physically. So yeah.
I'll just add a few things, and that is that it may not be necessarily for everyone going to the gym, because if you're trying to really bulk up, get more of that fat, that muscle, maybe some carbs still too, then it may be kind of hard for you to really put on that weight, and you're mostly put on muscle by, but just putting on muscle by itself won't be really fast because you're missing that fat. Uh, However, yeah, I still say that if you're kind of trying to stay on set weight, or maybe go even down, then keto is a really great diet, as you mentioned, because yeah, you're still trying to eat less processed foods, and most of them are literally carbs. So stuff like bread, stuff like pasta, as you've mentioned, and you try to eat very high fat and a lot of protein. So things like nuts by themselves have like upwards of 40 grams of fat on like 100 grams, and depending on the nuts you eat, it can be a lot more. Like some of them have 80% fat, so you still have some variety. You can eat a lot of different nuts, meats, eggs, still have some carbs. And the only thing I've heard of that kind of makes it hard for people to go on that diet is the so-called keto flu. So once people start to like rapidly go onto keto diet, because if you heard some things about dieting and heard about keto diet, then you should go slowly. So decrease your carbs from, I don't know, 200 to 100, then to 50, then to 20, and then have like around those 20, something like that. Of course, depending on from person to person. But some people go from the 100 or the 200 already to 20, and then you feel kind of the loss of carbs. You kind of have the brain fog, you're fatigued, your stomach may kind of not be prepared for that. But if you just take things slowly, I don't think there should be many problems with that.
Yeah, I would say it's just a sugar addiction,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
not a mental sugar addiction, a body sugar addiction. So your body has to learn how to make glycogen from the fats you eat and not from the carbs, and it just takes some time. But after you transition, then there aren't many problems with that.
Yeah, exactly. And your final rating from 1 to 10?
I don't know. I don't like this 1 to 10 rating because it's. I mean, I like keto. I would say 8.
But
Not bad. It's just all these diets are that you're naming are really the same. And as I said at the beginning, if you're not a professional bodybuilder, if you're just going to the gym because it's a hobby for you, then it doesn't really matter what fat to carbs ratio you eat. And of course, if you don't care about health that much, then it doesn't really matter. As long as you get the protein in, then you're gonna be fine. Of course, judging on the gym progress, not on the health outside of that, not on anything else, just the gym progress, you're gonna be good.
Okay, and yeah, I know that some of those diets are really similar and have similar concepts. However, it kind of shows me, at least, how your kind of process at the gym could go. Some from where you could start, from where you could either stop and maybe improve something. And the final one isn't necessarily that you should end on this one, that everybody should aim for this one. But some people, if they are able to use it, they might get really good effects on it. Okay, and talking about the final diet is the carnivore diet, which we also talked about on the previous video. So, as many of you know, carnivore diet consists of things carnivores eat, logically, which is mostly meat and some animal products, mostly eggs. I think that there is also some dairy. So I'd say this is a really simple diet, but health-wise, it has some interesting effects on you, I'd say. So many people like really recommend it because they feel stronger. They don't have these carbs that give them the brain fog. They really feel like, you know, the prehistoric man. So they are eating meat. They are feeling stronger. They go to the gym. So like they feel like the man. But this is kind of a mental effect, I would call it. And physically, yeah, it just kind of works like any other diet.
Okay, so I'd say carnivore is a 10 out of 10 diet if you can pull it off. What I mean by that is it's the best for your health for sure, and studies have shown it for years now. It's good for your for your physical performance because first mentally you feel like the man, you like a Spartan, let's say, and you're just conquering the world. Then mentally you don't have carbs, so you feel sharp all the time. But the problem is carnivore isn't it's not for everyone because it's an expensive diet because you eat meat but you mostly eat beef, so you eat steaks. It's an expensive meat. Then you have the boring factor. So you have four things you eat, right? You have beef, steak, you have eggs, you have um, cheese, and
Milk, dairy.
I don't know if milk is really allowed. You can have cheese and you have butter to cook your meat, right? So you have four things, and it might get boring for some people. But if you can pull it off, if you can afford it for a long term, if you can eat meat every day and just only meat and feel great mentally, not fatigued mentally from the fact that you only eat eggs and meat, then it's, I'd say, the best.
I would just add like one minor issue is that there may be some macronutrients you're not gonna necessarily get from this diet. There may be some supplements. Yeah, I mean not macro, tylko micro, I think. So you might miss out on some vitamins, might miss out on some
That's the point, that
things like that.
you have all the vitamins from fat, from meat, plus you have the fats from eggs and beef, especially steak. has the best fats you can eat. Have the best fats you can eat because especially eggs, they have the cholesterol, which is good for you. It's not bad for you. And beef, I know it has vitamins in the fat, so everything you need to have.
Okay.
Yeah, of course you might need some electrolytes, so I know magnesium and things like that, but just the vitamins you can get from the fat.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you one last question, and that is, what is your opinion on the vegan diet? As a bodybuilder, as a gym goer, on vegan, vegetarian, of course, like
So they don't eat meat, but they do eat animal products, right?
vegetarians eat animal products, vegans don't.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
I mean, I don't like it. I don't see why would you do this. People, humans have ate meat for forever, and why would you don't eat meat? So the thing is that you can have protein from, I don't know, soy. You can have all these things from other. No, the fact is that you can't have everything that meat has in it from other foods, but you can have things from meat that everything else has. So if you eat meat, you're good because there's everything in there, but it's hard to substitute meat properly because there will always be something that you're missing out on.
And I say that, as you said, most of the protein there would go from like soy, maybe some nuts, like other nuts. And the thing is that it isn't necessarily like the best kind of protein you can have. Like the best proteins are mostly from meat and eggs, as we've talked about before. And yeah, there will be things lacking in the diet. You won't get as much iron, you won't get as much vitamins, because some of the vitamins just exist in the meat, literally. And even though you're having all these carbs, and yeah, like most of them are just carbs, literally, then you're not you're not having that much energy as you might think. And yeah, even though some athletes in the Olympics, even, I think, eat those kinds of diets, if you're trying to put on muscle, if you're trying to get bigger, get stronger, this type of diet just won't really give that to you.
Yeah, my opinion on the Olympics is that everyone there is just on performance enhancing drugs. Even though they kinda have some tests, it's just I don't believe that they don't do. Maybe not. Maybe they don't do steroids. Maybe they don't take testosterone, but they take something that enhances their performance.
Yeah, I think even like the known factor is that they take breathing salts. I'm not even sure how it's called. So that like they inhale the salts and they really like wake you up, make you energetic for some time. And yeah, it is like the known factor.
Okay, so I believe that's all. Again, if you like the video, please comment, please subscribe, leave a like, leave some sign that you were here, and see you next time.
See ya.